Welcome to the Movie Talk Show with Dave DC Callari from DC Unboxed and from the Screenwriter's Room, the screenwriter himself, Rob Alvarenga. Now, here is your host, Joe Zapata.
What's up, guys? Another week of Movie Talk. I'm Joe Zapata here with the team, Rob Alvarenga. What's going on, Robbie?
What's going on, man? Just here trying to survive this attack of the sequels, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of sequels going on, man. And Dave, DC Claire. What's up, Dave? How you doing?
This is one of the most disappointing cues
I
we
know.
got.
Yeah, it's all sequels. All sequels every single time, you know. Some of them good, some are bad. I mean, I don't know. We can start off with The Thing 2 if you want to start off with sequels.
Yeah.
So The Thing 2, obviously The Thing 1 was a John Carpenter thing in 1982, I believe it was when it first came out. Timeless classic. You know, it was Kurt Russell, T.K. Carter was in it. Great movie, John Carpenter. And now after all these years, they're doing a sequel again, part 2. What else is new? Hollywood has no other ideas to make, so we're going to get another sequel. I don't know who's going to be in it, what's going to be in it, what's going to be involved with, but, you know, Rob, you're the horror guy, so I would start off with you first. What do you think about this Thing 2 actually happening? Are you interested?
I don't know. I'm torn, man. I mean, I kind of like. I feel like I'm saying some things that are similar to what I said last week about the Fly remake. So, just for context, for anyone out there that has not seen the Thing, the '80s Thing, which is actually a remake of an old '50s movie.
Yes.
That movie is one of these like rare like reimaginings remakes that is just way better than the original. Now that I'll fight any cinephiles for, because the special effects, the practical special effects that were unleashed in that movie, honestly, really, in my opinion, still hold up to today. It's a very disturbing movie, and the story is one of the most tight, claustrophobic experiences you'll ever have in a movie. Now we getting a sequel. So this is my thing. Believe it or not, there have been attempts to try and like make a direct sequel to that movie. It's appeared in forms of comic books. Dark
Okay.
Horse had a run, which was like a direct sequel to what happened after the end of that movie. And then there was a video game too that kind of like opened up a new story of a different expedition, trying to figure out what happened in the events of the first movie. So now, like, with John Carpenter coming in, it sounds like they're going to explain a lot of the ambiguousness that the original one left you off with, like the ending, like with the last two survivors of that attack on that Antarctic base. They're just there. I mean, they're out in the open in the middle of Antarctica, greater freeze. You know, for the fire that's been burning, is going to die out. And there's this thing about like, is one of them still the thing? It's been a question for fans going for years,
Yeah.
and with news of John Carpenter saying that he's going to be involved in this, that tells me that they can actually now explain that, and that's not always a good thing. My biggest concern is like for Star Wars. Once they start explaining the whole thing, that's when things went haywire, and that's my concern with here. This is a horror classic. It's literally a standalone classic at that. It doesn't really need a sequel. So, and again, it's a movie that came out in the '80s that's really pushing the limits to what the imagery it gave you. Are really, we got CGI that looks really nowadays. So I
Yeah.
don't know if they can really capitalize or build on what was the original classic.
Yeah. I haven't seen the original since probably 25 years. I haven't seen it. It's been that long, probably since I've seen it. Dave, are you interested in anything? The Thing?
Yeah.
Because I'm not I can recognize how much of a classic the original is.
Yes.
And I think so much of what makes that movie appealing is the fact of how much of the practical effects look outstanding in that. And I think that's probably a huge part of its charm and what's made it what it is. And just on that alone, I know as we move into whatever this might be, most everything will probably be CGI and try to make like up the ante on that stuff, and as we've seen, that doesn't always work. So, to Rob's point, just because something gets explained doesn't mean it's going to be any good. Sometimes the unknown is the mystique that makes it so good in the first place. Like, go back and look at the Blair Witch. you could have ended the Blair Witch at the first one instead of trying to do Book of Shadows and whatever else came after to like create this extended universe that just kind of fell flat. So if this comes out and it's not good, it's been long enough that it's just like, all right, well, they took a swing and it's not great, and John Carpenter, whatever. It's not going to really tarnish anything about the original, which is fine. And that's really kind of the most important thing. Now, if it's good, great. I just don't see how it even comes close to what the original one was.
Yeah. And it's still really early, the writing and stuff. So I don't expect any time until like maybe 2028. So that's what they're saying. So we're still early.
Bananas.
Yeah, the thing too. Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see what happens. The next thing on another, we're going to be sequel heavy today. A lot of sequels going on is obviously Superbad. Superbad 2 came out by Sony. Jonah Hill was in it. Great. I liked the first one. I thought it was pretty funny. It kind of started the careers with everyone. McLovin, Michael Cera was in it. I think it was 2007. That's what it was. 2007 when it came out. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was good. But I think the way they've all changed their careers, the actors, Jonah Hill especially changing who he is, and I think they're going to focus it like after graduation. I don't know if it's going to work. It's not going to be the same, but apparently Sony and Jonah Hill is writing it, which, you know, that's kind of weird. But hey, we'll see what happens. Dave, are you a Superbad? Did you like the first one, and will you see anything with the second one?
Yeah, the first one was great. It was really funny. It was kind of unexpected because you're like, who are these guys, right?
Yes.
It's funny that, you know, we know Jonah Hill and Michael Cera, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse we just call McLovin. Like, he's got a regular name, and he's still the guy from Superbad.
Yeah, McLovin.
But that came out in an interesting time, right? Because like there was Superbad. I think Role Models probably came out around that time, and the thing that made that movie work, at least for me, was the fact that it was relatable, pretty much to like the people of people of our age, right? Because it was like we were a little bit past that like high school, college phase, but we understood what it was like to be like the dorky kids, or like, hey man, could you buy me beer? Or just like a crazy night trying to have a party. I think that was the charm of it. I don't know how much people want to see like someone's midlife crisis on screen. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but sometimes the charm of these movies is the story and the time period in which they take place, not just that it was funny, had good jokes, or whoever was the cast is, right? So it's like, would I see it? Maybe. I don't know. I need to see a trailer first, but I get it. I don't see it really working. Yeah,
me either. I don't see it working. McLovin, Rob, what do you think? You interested in seeing this, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's one of these movies that I could totally see, like, you know, one given night on, you know, I'm like, you know what, let me put this movie on streaming and let me see if this is any good. You know, the original movie, the thing, it was funny. I found it very funny, but there was like an innocence about that movie, to be quite honest. That was actually the real charming aspect of that, because, you know, all these characters had, like, you know, you could identify at least with one of them, you know, around that age, you know. So, and again, the concept of just like, you know, everybody's just coming together to a party, and where, you know, all your quote unquote dreams come true. Like the girl that you really want is going to be there. This is your chance that you get her, you know. Or Jonah Hill's, character just trying to be like, find himself, you know, or be comfortable with who he is, and, you know, try and like please, you know, make everybody like him. The cameos with Seth Rogen, and, you know, that was awesome with the cops. But you know, so I read a synopsis. So it's like, you know, today's point, like a midlife crisis, like that's not really innocent anymore. Now it's like, you know, we as adults now, we're like, I'm living it. I don't think I need to actually see it on screen. You know, it's like, no, thank you. You know, it's like, and you can't, you know, those things, like, yeah, you could make movies like that and make it funny, but if this is a super bad movie and we're familiar with these characters, McLovin, I mean, I don't want to see this guy, a middle-aged, you know, McLovin, you know, and that's not going to be his, you know, he's not going to use the card anymore. So it's like, I don't know. I can't even think about, like, even with the storyline they're going with,
doesn't,
where is it? Where's the appeal here? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know where they're gonna go with this, you know. But Jonah Hill's writing it, so we'll see what happens. He's not, you know, too bad, but we'll see what happens.
Is he still funny? I mean,
He lost a lot of weight, and I think that kind of made the fun out of him being
it sat
funny.
the fun out.
You know, like you can't have a like Chris Farley. I mean, his size is what made him funny. You know, if he was thin, then you would be like, oh, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know.
It's like if John Candy was John Carrot Stick, it's probably not as funny.
Yes, you know.
I like that one. That's actually good.
You know. And then now, speaking of adults, another sequel is Grown Ups 3. Now, Netflix, they put anything out that says Adam Sandler on it, so you know we're not really surprised here. But now, Grown Ups 3 is going to be happening. Adam Sandler announced it. The last one was 2013, Grown Ups 2, and you know you have Chris Rock is in it, and what's his name, Kevin James, he's in it. So it you know the guys were, the first one was okay. Second one was like, we don't need this. The third one is just a money grab for Netflix and that, because it's going to go right there, just like Happy Gilmore 2, you know. So I don't know why they're doing it, but they are doing it. Rob, or you have any interest in seeing Grown Ups 3, you know, The Quest for Peace?
Do I have any interest in the next chapter of the Sandler cinematic universe? I would say this. There's one thing I am interested in knowing. Oh, is Shaq going to return? Because, you know, I don't think it was all that funny, but it was just kind of cool, you know, seeing Shaq with all these other guys. But, I mean, look, I'm glad you kind of led with the way you did, because grown-ups for me, it wasn't really all that funny for me. You know, I mean, and I'm a kind of person, if you know me, I find reasons to like laugh. Like I enjoy like comedy and stuff. And when I'm trying to pull teeth from a movie to like make me laugh, that's when it's like, that's a bad sign, you know? It just felt like a bunch of like skits that these guys were just talking about and just all mashing them together, and, you know, all with a framework of a story. You know, I feel like a lot of these things were like ad-libbed, and it just didn't stick the landing. And that's part one. Part two, I mean, that was a snore fest for me. I was like, why am I watching this? I mean, but, you know, so now you're going to try and sell me on Grown Ups 3. Look, so the story is like, now these guys inherit their childhood camp. Okay. You know, it's like, I'm sorry. You know, that's not a real hook. A lot of these actors are just not doing it for me anymore. You know, and some of these actors, to be honest, I mean, I'll give you one. I think Rob Schneider is supposed to be in this thing. I'm not a fan. I never thought he was all that funny to begin with, and now it's like, okay, you're gonna, you know, shove all these guys in my face. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I don't see it. Whatever. Dave, Grown Ups 3, anything?
Grown Ups 3, Cruise Control. Which is exactly what they're doing. I feel like what's the story? Like they inherit their childhood camp. Okay, great.
Yep. Great. That's what we're gonna get. Childhood camp.
The interesting thing is, like, Sandler has done good dramatic work, right?
Yeah.
And he's a good director. His comedy stuff, I hate. I've always hated it. I've never liked any of it. I've watched them, and they've had their time. I don't think anything that Sandler does that's supposed to be comedic that he's in, I just think his time has passed. I don't think those movies were funny when they came out, and they're certainly not funny now. Kevin James, King of Queens was a great show. I love Kevin James in Hitch. I haven't liked him in anything other than those. No. I think he's great at stand-up. I just don't think I don't think his comedy translates as an actor. Like, I watched that thing Playdate with Alan Ritchson and Kevin James. Oh my God, that was terrible.
Oh, really?
I wanted Amazon to refund my money.
Yeah.
Like Rob Schneider's always been like Sandler's sidekick. But like, you guys are like in your mid 50s. We don't need your stupid sidekick anymore. No. I don't understand who thinks this is a good idea.
Netflix.
It's Adam Sandler, because evidently he owns half of Netflix. Evidently, because he has the movies coming out every other month.
Give us War Machine 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, War Machine 2. You know, but apparently it's coming out. They're doing it, so I guess we're going to wait and see what happens. Now, the final sequel we're going to talk about is actually another one, which is, you know, just like Fast and the Furious. Now, Vin Diesel's doing another Riddick. And, you know, it was a moderate success. The Pitch Black was pretty decent, I guess, with that. But now they're going off and doing this Riddick, and I don't know how much the movie's made box office wise. I'm not sure. I have to check that out, but because I think it was a moderate success anyway. Then you had Chronicles of Riddick and then Riddick in 2013 was the last one. Again, another one for Riddick. It's like the Fast and the Furious. And now I heard they're doing a Fast and the Furious TV show, which is going to be kind of stupid every week.
Why not?
Exactly, about them racing. But again, with Riddick, I don't get it. I think Vin Diesel just hitting the same thing, trying to go back to nostalgia and trying to make the money because these guys can't let those careers go. Riddick, I'll start with you, Dave. Any interest in seeing Riddick?
No, I would like Vin Diesel's eye problem in the first Pitch Black if this were to come on. I mean, the first Pitch Black was good because it was an engrossing story.
Yeah,
he was not I don't really feel he was the focal point.
No, he wasn't.
And I understand that at the time he was new to the scene, so he was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And then he got some hype behind him with Fast and the Furious. But like, I've never been a Vin Diesel fan. He doesn't really have a range. You can't make Fast and Furious movies forever, so he's going to try to make Riddick movies forever. Like, I just don't see there's no evolution of the character. He was just a prisoner. He was just a prisoner who they scorched his eyes and like,
Yeah, 100%.
Riddick, furious. That's what I am. I'm furious that they're doing another one.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Rob, what do you think about Riddick? Remember, Vin Diesel's about family.
It's always about family, even this franchise.
The family of Benjamins.
Yeah.
Yeah, legit. I mean, seriously, it's like, the studios have this like, big bag that says like, come get your sequel, and just like, just tossing it out at everybody.
It's just full to the brim with money.
I mean, look, before I feel like I'm been shitting on all these sequels to this tonight, but just to change it up, and this is honestly, I actually like Pitch Black. I thought that was actually a really good movie. And today's point, around that time, it was like it was more than a passable movie. It was a really good, it had a good story, and it definitely gave you something you weren't expecting. So and the alien designs, they don't hold up for sure. But at that time, you're like, you know what? Okay, I could get down with this. Chronicles of Riddick is one of those movies that looks like it should have been good. But once they start again explaining Riddick and then this whole world and stuff like that, it was just like, I don't know. It just barely made like okay experience. I didn't bother watching the third one because I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm broke at that time. I'm just not gonna, give my money for another Riddick movie. I've had my fill of it. I thought the first two movies gave me more than enough that I ever wanted in this character. Not to say that it's like a horrible character, but it's like I didn't see anything that would last long beyond those two movies. And so they gave us Riddick, and now we're going back. And the concept is that now he goes back to his home world and, to, rediscover like his ancestry or whatever. And then he, finds a new enemy to fight. I mean, it's just, well, goodness, it's just laziness, at this point, that's part of like some of the background they talked about in the other movies, where he's from and how he's like this, like, very unique type of race, whatever. That only he could like, do what he does because he's one of them. Okay, so it was part of like mystique. They should have just left it at that. Like, I don't need to know any more about that. And now you're gonna give me a whole movie explaining everything, and then have some kind of like climactic fight at the end where he like becomes king. Maybe, I don't know, but it's like it just feels lazy. And again, it's like they give out the sequel money, so I get it. Gotta get paid.
Yeah, exactly. Next week we'll be talking about Titanic 2, Passion of the Christ 2, and Boiler Room 2. That's next week's episode.
Passion of the Christ 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Right.
Hollywood is just sometimes confuses me. And this actually next news really bothers me because I was really looking forward to this. And we got some Voltron news, and we're going to talk about. So Voltron, obviously, was getting ready to come out. Henry Cavill's in it, our boy Henry. And now the studio is actually not going to be releasing it in the movie theaters. It's going to be hitting Prime Video. And I'm disappointed in that because that tells me the studio, Amazon, is not really behind this movie and don't think it's going to do well. That's what I get the feeling, that the studio doesn't believe in this movie, and they should, because the one Ryan Gosling movie that just came out, that one with the space with the rock you just saw, what was that? I forget that. That was,
Hail Mary.
Project
yeah,
Mary,
Hail
yeah.
Mary. Project Hail Mary. That was a really good movie. I heard from everyone said that. So, and Voltron, the Lions, just like Transformers, I think it would do well in the movie theaters, but they're pulling it. I'm disappointed about it a lot. I really, really wanted to see that in the movie theaters. And there's been talk. Amazon's been saying, "Oh, yes, maybe, no." But right now, from what I heard, it's only on Prime Video. Rob, I'll start with you. This news, is it good? Is it bad? How do you feel with this?
I feel like this is a true analytic decision on the part of Amazon, and it's sad because just a couple things. It's still like there are a legit studio, Amazon Studios.
Yeah.
So it's not like all the streamers haven't made like really good high quality movies. Netflix has made some here and there some really decent like production movies and stuff like that. So it's not like it's gonna look bad, and I'm pretty sure they put a lot of money into it.
Mm-hmm.
Their thing is that they feel like the fan base for this movie is not big enough for them to get any type of success on the box office, which they're going to regret this decision, because
Yeah.
when Masters of the Universe comes out and they realize, oh yeah, there's a bunch of 80s babies out here that are just dying to see all this content that they grew up with, and they
Mhm.
probably have shown this to their kids, and it's gonna do well. We already know that Thundercats is gonna be in production. Okay, so
Mhm.
wait till that starts hitting.
Mhm.
And the team behind Voltron is going to, similar to like what they did with Prey, they're going to see like, wow, we could have really capitalized on something really good. Okay, don't
Mhm.
give me anything comparisons like, oh, well, maybe they'll get this confused with Power Rangers. First of all, Power Rangers bit off Voltron. Okay, Voltron came before them, and
Mhm.
Voltron was a much more superior product than
Mhm.
Power Rangers. Don't get me wrong, Power Rangers, that fan base, but it's like it was after Voltron, and I was always a fan first of Voltron. Power Rangers, was good for what it is, but it's just, that's not what I saw first.
Mhm.
So, and to your point, I feel the same way. This is a disappointment because I think that Voltron should definitely have had a cinematic release.
Correct.
So, unless this production, what they made really is shit, which
Mhm.
will be even more heartbreaking.
Mhm.
If they did it right, this should be in the theaters. Bottom line.
Yeah. And why cast Henry Cavill in that role as the lead, and you're gonna bring it to streaming? Dave, this is the news, Voltron news that we got. Not gonna be in theaters. What do you feel towards this?
I don't know if that actually means that the project isn't very good, because Henry Cavill left The Witcher because it strayed too far from the source material. Like,
Okay.
that was not that long ago. So I
No.
really believe Henry's not going to get involved in something that isn't at least good enough in his eyes, and sticks close to whatever the source material they're working from. It could be a couple of things. It could be Amazon just trying to be more exclusive with what they're offering, since now they've acquired MGM Studios. Hey, maybe we can get some extra nerd subscribers out of this with He-Man coming out. Like that's some idiot in a boardroom with a fucking tie on making a stupid decision. Like, to Rob's point, it's an analytics move. I still have hope that this could be really good. And like, again, they renewed Reacher for season 5 before we got season 4. So like, there is money there. So I can't imagine that this is going to look bad, or I don't know. I haven't lost hope. I just think it's a dumb decision, and they'll probably be kicking themselves. Even if it's not awesome, you're still missing copious amounts of opening weekend money.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I think so. 100%. And they just released the last He-Man trailer. I don't know if you saw that. The final He-Man trailer. Did you see that? That was a great trailer. They should have had that. That should have been the first trailer, to be honest with you.
I saw, who's that? Pam Miranoff or something from Collider.
I don't know who you're talking about.
With the bangs.
Oh, yes. I know who you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't want to read her quick little review because I'm like, oh my God, it's so early. But she was like, I love Masters of the Universe. It was great. It's like everything you would want that movie to be. I was like, okay. At least I saw one. And because I feel like most of the Collider folks are pretty spot on with what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the early reactions, and across the board, it's not just that they're saying it's good. You could hear it. It's like they're enthusiastically saying that this is good. Like they had a great time in this movie. You know,
Yep.
and I'm also excited. They're saying that there's, I mean, every single movie has, post-credit scenes, but a post-credit scene in Masters of the Universe,
Yes.
I'm getting tingles as far as
Yeah.
like, okay, what are you guys going to show me? Is
My
it
guess,
another franchise?
I'm thinking Orko. I think
Mm.
Orko. That's my guess, but I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Voltron. I hope it does hit them. I'm gonna, really watch it, but I hope it hits the movie theaters, man. It's really sad because I heard that they want to also do like Silver Hawks and stuff like that. They want to kind of expand, do some more toy, that we grew up on. But depends on this. Like even you remember the show, the Mask
Yeah.
Crusader?
Oh yeah, with those
Yeah,
vehicles, yeah.
they were even talking about that. So
They should. I mean, I'm
yeah,
sorry, 80s cartoons are awesome. They
yes.
should all be
Cartoons
movies.
were the best, 100%,
It's
man.
like mobile assault.
Strike Command.
Command with a K.
Yeah.
Command with a can. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. All right, so let's just finish up, answer a couple questions that came in, and we'll wrap it up here. All right, let's see. The first one is, hold on here, is from, and I think I know who this person is, Danielle from South Jersey. She says, hey, Dave, as a fellow Ghostbusters fan, I've always wondered why Ernie Hudson, character Winston, was not on the original poster. Was it because he was not a founding member? Do you know?
I don't know if anything's ever really been confirmed, but yeah, he wasn't one of the founding members. I'm sure as the poster hit, they completely changed his character. Like he had a huge background as like an Air Force technician, which is why he was qualified for the job, and like all his backstory they gave him early on in the script, they ended up cutting and changing and putting him way in the middle of the film. And then his character had a lot of the lines that Bill Murray ended up getting. So half his screen time gets cut and Murray gets all the funny lines. But, he was supposed to be the audience, like the everyman who just comes in is like,
Just comes in, yeah.
what's happening? So, and even in plenty of documentaries, he's even said like, I was a little annoyed at first. And then he's like, Harold kind of took me under his wing. He's like, Ernie, it's fine. Like they try to explain what it was and what it was going to be, and he's like, I understand. He's like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And he, and again, like I said, now he's essentially running the franchise, and he'll probably end up doing more of them because he looks the best, and he's financing everything. So
yeah. And you're right. You made a good point. He's like the average guy that would get into a job, that one of us would probably be like, I seen shit that'll turn you white. You're like, that's what we would be seeing if we saw that. So, but 100%. All right. Next one. Chris P from New Jersey says, hey, Rob, do you prefer supernatural horror or grounded, realistic horror stories?
I think I've written more supernatural.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily to mean that is my go-to. It's just stories that I've come up with that the supernatural piece seem to fit more. I'm really trying to like get back into the grounded realistic horrors because it's it's a little more challenging in my respect. I always say that in horror movies you always have to have some kind of monster. Well, the most terrifying monsters that most of the time we remember are humans, regular people. So, and I think those lend to more in-depth, deep stories to tell. And that's kind of the reason why I'm kind of leaning more now towards that, because a lot of times they're very, very real cautionary tales that I could tell. And the grounded realistic horror is going to offer me that.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Next one's for you, Dave. Tobin's Spirit Guide from New Jersey says, Dave, not sure if you were aware, but Dan Aykroyd wrote Ghostbusters because his mother claimed to see spirits.
Well, his grandfather actually used to be he would like review mediums. So apparently, for wherever they grew up, if you would have like almost like I think he called it like a mediumship. It was almost like a circus coming through town. Like people would come through town and do seances. Like his grandfather, I think his father, were all involved in that area of like paranormal type stuff. And his father has a book that he's written a foreword to. Like his whole family was heavily involved in these kinds of things. And then Aykroyd would talk about how, well, what if we took someone like the supernatural studies done by like Duke University, whatever years those were, and like put some science to it. So that's really, that is, I don't know about if his mother actually saw anything, but a lot of this comes from some of the sciencey stuff that his grandfather and father tried to do years ago.
Wow. Okay. Pretty cool.
I really hope that's Bruce, by the way.
I feel it. The name tracks, but it's like a real question.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
true. That's true.
Tommy T from PA says, Rob, I've always find it hard to write believable dialogue during terrifying situations, as most of us have never been in a situation like that with a horror slasher killer. What do you think?
Well, that's the thing. It shouldn't be dialogue, to be quite honest, in those situations. I mean, you know, it's. I mean, the easiest way for me to explain that is, okay, put yourself in that situation, you know, and how would you? It's more reaction to anything. You're not gonna be saying like, "Oh my God," you know. It's like you're not gonna actually verbalize that stuff. So it's like, no, it's more reaction. It's more like, you know, screaming, you know, whatever it is. But this is an example of like, this is for stuff like that. This is action. Show more, talk less, and your script will be that much better.
Okay, that's a really good point. All right, last question here we got is Bill R. New Jersey says, guys, with Spider-Man Brand New Day coming, do you think we'll get some tease in that movie or introduction of Miles Morales? What do you guys think? Do you think Miles Morales will be in that?
No.
I mean, it's definitely possible for a post-credits. I'm kind of getting sick of the Marvel post-credits stuff, though. Because, like, I kind of feel like we know that I feel like Miles is going to happen no matter what, whether we get a tease of it or they're just like, here's a new character. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I think something.
It would be cool, but because another solo Spider-Man movie is not solo, can we just do that somewhere else?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think, honestly, first of all, I think Sony's really saving Miles Morales. I think they want that to be a solo film in itself, which I think that's the way it should go. But because they're still doing the Spider-Verse, you know, I think that's what's pushing back his official appearance in the MCU.
Okay, we'll wait and see. Have you guys Spider Noir? You guys getting ready to see that?
Oh, hell yeah.
It looks really good. The last one they saw looked really good. The last trailer I saw. So
when does it drop?
27th?
Yeah, 27th, 28th. Yeah.
Ugh.
So we got like another week or 8 days away. So
I know.
looking good. It's looking good, man. All right, guys. Another great week. Hopefully next week we're not talking about sequels. So we will see you guys next week.
I'm going to see The Mandalorian on Friday.
Well, tell me how it looks. I heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, same here. Good luck.
The first season was good. Second one was decent. Third one kind of fell off a cliff. So
yeah, I mean,
I put in that much time. Whatever. Let's just go see it.
This might be the abyss.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker showing up in Mandalorian was the best for me. I think that was the best Luke Skywalker. You know, I busted a nut when he came on screen. I was
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we want out of a Disney movie.
All right, guys. Next week. I'll talk to you later, my friend.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. JayZ pumping iron.